Previously on Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. Ooh, look at the lens flare. Woo! I'm gonna stare directly in the sun. Look at this shit. Okay, so that maybe wasn't the brightest idea of mine. And now back to Mermaid Ward. Hello! NicoB! Back with some more Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. When we last left off, we hop over to some new characters, Cersei and Avi, as they're on a little trip over to Japan to take in the sights and talk about mermaids. So many mermaids, so many tales, so many stars, so much exposition. And oh, hey, look, a guy shows up and he's telling them, hey, is there something you would like to see more of? How about more exposition? Because these two are Japanophiles and they just can't get enough talking about that sweet, sweet culture. But that's not the only thing that American but British sounding Avi is here for. No, he does actually want to find himself a mermaid. Why? I don't know. I guess he wants to be immortal. It just would be cool. Showing Cersei a map that he discovered inside the fake corpse of a mermaid left behind by his ancestors. And using the knowledge of all that exposition we just got previously, we managed to pinpoint potentially where it could be. Though in order to be sure, they're gonna have to reach out to their rather skeevy looking business friend that they became acquainted with recently. But yes, I will say, I do think that was the first time in this whole series that I felt, okay, that's a lot. That was a lot. I feel like a lot of exposition dumping without a whole lot of plot moving forward. I get it though. I do understand what the idea behind it was. Like, it's not like it didn't make sense that they'd be doing this because they are two Japanophiles that are basically just geeking out over the culture. As much as I was sort of laughing at how like much they remember all the dates and all the names and everything, it's not unheard of. And it also wasn't helped by the fact that I was going through and literally reading every entry they updated, which I technically didn't really need it to do. I've been pretty consistent about it in this one. I don't even know if I don't even remember if when I did the first game, if I actually did that like every time. I think there were times where I did gloss over it, which I might start doing now if I feel it starts getting to be a little too much. Because that's what I will say, I feel like last episode was a little much. Like it just dumped way too much information on me at once. And I don't mind it sometimes. I mean, that's obviously the backbone to these games. That's what makes them interesting. All these crazy tales and how they tie into what's happening with the characters. But holy shit, man, I was like a solid hour and a half plus of just nothing but them just expositing so many tales. It really was like, all right, well, that was an interesting tale. Let's talk about this thing now. So I'm hoping that's like the only time that we have that's going to be like that. I'm sure there will still be moments, obviously, where we exposit and talk about things, but I hope there's not any more that are that insanely dense and front-loaded, you know? I feel like Paranormasight 1 did a very good job of balancing that between things actually happening and characters moving places and going forward. And I guess technically we were going places, but we weren't really do anything in those places. We really did feel like we were just on a tour, which, I mean, to be fair, it was, it wasn't like they were lying to us, but I think I wanted more to happen, you know, like more things like we ran it, like when we ran into that one guy whose name has already slipped my mind, Kibe Koma. Like, I think it's fun when they're going around like speaking to other characters about things, right? Which we'll probably be getting to at some point when we head over to Kamishima, when they start questioning everybody. And I think the stories themselves are interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they tie into things, but I still feel like I'm so early in this game, like that I it's so like hard for me to necessarily immediately understand the significance of everything they're throwing at me. I'm sure it will be, but I think I would have preferred if it was that some of that had been spread out a little bit more than just kind of clumped up in like this one right here. That said, I love these two. These two are like my favorite characters already. And I'm saying that based off a chapter where they really didn't do much of anything, just because their personalities are so good. But anyway, last episode, Shiro Matsunoki said, Yuza, gotta find a mermaid. Figure out why everyone hates my mom. Sato, I gotta help Tsukasa get a boyfriend. Shiki, I need to solve this case so I can go home to my husband. Avi, I am a man of the sea, off to adventure. Pretty much, dude. As long as this guy's so fun, he's such Joseph Joestar energy with a bit of like Sherlock Holmes thrown in there, a la the Great Ace Attorney. I do feel that he's probably, I think they are also playing up his goofiness though. I think he's like his actual reason for doing some of this is probably more significant than simply, well, I don't know, it just sounds kind of like a cool thing to do. I think there is more to it going on. He's kind of sort of playing the fool to an extent, but he's great. He's super fucking funny. But Shiro, thank you so much. Your hilariously accurate comment. And is that reason you are comment of the day? Oh, by the way, a few clarifications. In regards to the Taishima Island, Mare was not a descendant specifically of the people of Taishima. It was the people who invaded Taishima and destroyed it. They basically came in and killed all the people there, and then the lingering resentment and hatred and anger from those people is what essentially sunk the island. So she is a descendant of the people that came and did that. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like, fuck. That's the other thing too. When you get so much information and also like periods between episodes or weekends, eventually my brain is just like, I'm at maximum capacity. Fuck. How many more mermaid tales do we have? Also, when Yumeko and Soto confronted Cersei that one time, it wasn't on Kamishima because Samakawa could not go to Kamishima. That's right. It's not... The Kamishima stuff can get a little confusing, but it's a little hard at times. I have noticed in this story, sometimes it can be tough to tell exactly where I am. I mean, they'll tell me, right? But then it's like wrapping my head around the geography of this place. Of where Issei Bay is specifically in relation to Kamishima, where everything else is. There's Kamishima. And then all along the edge are all these other towns. Okay, I really need to be focusing on that. It's that little island there. And then everything else is all the other spots around it. But in terms of actually how the landscape and everything looks, it all looks very similar. Like it looks like it could be Kamishima, but it's not. It is not Kamishima. It is not in the Kamishima area. It is other spots, right? Lots of little details here that it's sometimes hard to keep track of, but I'm doing my best. But anyway, we discovered things on treasure map, not by doing the thing that we were supposed to do, which was actually you were supposed to take the map and turn it towards the window, like turn my whole body around toward the light. We'll say very clever solution, but hey, I still managed to solve it. I love that the game actually acknowledged it. I think that's pretty amazing. That I didn't do it the way that they expected me to. I love when games do that. But I think we're gonna head to that spot now, probably with maybe with our skeevy friend. Let's see. Avi and Cersei's quest for immortality is in full swing. Having pinpointed a likely location on their mysterious map, they ask Kipe Ikoma to investigate on their behalf. However, the next day. Hello, this is Ikoma. I'm calling about the seafloor investigation. I asked an armor diver to investigate the area because I was keen to get results as soon as possible. However, she has not returned. That doesn't seem good. Which is why we're headed out there ourselves to assess the situation. You guys said also, yeah, I mean, technically Avi is American, but he also seems like the guy who would put on a fake British accent just to seem more like cultural. You know what? That's fair. This fits. We have nothing else to do after all.
So he asked an armor diver to investigate the seafloor in the area.
I guess in a place like this, it would be faster to hire an armor than a regular diver. Even in this age, you can still get some armors to do contracted dives, huh? The pair she was contracted to investigate for about an hour, at which point she was to return even if empty-handed. I suppose the intent was just for her to survey the area to start with.
However, several hours passed with no word from the diver. I can see why Ikoma is worried.
We'll start by checking out the location. We can request a police search after if need be. Cersei, you have a bad feeling about this.
I do, ever since we first heard about this.
I see.
There's a strong negative spirit energy in the air that is only intensified as we approach the spot. Something happened there.
The diver didn't make it back. Is it safe for us to go?
I have a talisman that repels evil. It should be fine.
Well, if you say so. Worst comes to worst, we'll reunite in the afterlife.
Understood. Leave it to me.
Oh, you're not supposed to agree with that.
There's something there.
Uh-oh. That must be Armor Diver's boat. There doesn't appear to be anyone around. How unsettling.
You're right. There's something terrible here.
Is it really that bad?
It is. I can tell even from this distance. It's coming from the bucket.
Oh shit.
It's saturated with sinister spiritual energy. There's some real powerful curse inside.
It's got the same marking that it was on the map. Inside the bucket. Does that mean the armor diver found something on the seafloor and brought it up to the surface? And perhaps succumbed to the curse while trying to get it out?
Yes, unfortunately. As we cannot say for certain what misfortunes this curse may call forth, I need you to remain cautious.
Can you dispel curses, Cersei?
It depends on the curse itself, but I believe I may be able to handle one of this caliber.
That's a relief. Is it really safe for us to approach that boat, though?
Yes, it's fine. For me, at least.
Understood. If anything happens to me, then I'll leave the rest to you. I like how they're having the boat, like the portraits, like riding the boat, you know? Like the 2D characters and 3D objects. They're doing such a good job, right? They sell it so well in these games.
Oh my, there's a small metal box in the bucket. This has to be the source.
Can we take it?
Yes, provided I can overpower the malice it's engulfed in.
Ha! Ha!
That was it. Should be safe to touch now. I'll leave that part to you.
No problem. Fuck, I wouldn't be fucking touching that shit. I've got some tongs or something. It's pretty heavy. What do you think this box is exactly?
It appears to be quite old. It likely dates back to the same time period as your map. Here, take a look at the symbol on the top of the box. Do you recognize it from anywhere?
I saw it on the seafloor. It's on the map. Oh, this is that strange symbol we saw on the map.
It's thus fair to say that the map was leading us toward this exact box.
That only makes its identity all the more intriguing. There's some strange lines on the side. Perhaps it's some sort of pattern. Oh yeah, I thought it was just like the spot where the box would open, but no, it's like weird actually, no, wait a minute. They're not cracks. They're like, is it like looking at islands or something? Like you're in the ocean and that's like the horizon. It's kind of what it looks like, actually. It appears to open from the top, but it's not budging at all. It would take quite a lot of strength to force it open.
I believe the box has been sealed with powerful spiritual energy.
Yeah, there's a dot below it too. 1 dot, 3 dots, probably an order to it.
It was probably sealed by a skilled sorcerer a long time ago. I doubt it will open by any normal means.
I can feel something shifting whenever I turn it. Must be some kind of mechanism inside.
Then I suppose you'll want to align the box with the spiritual energy of this place.
In English, please? Or whatever I speak.
It is likely the mechanism for unlocking the box is activated by orienting the box in the right directions in the right order.
I see. So I figure out where to point it. Leave it to me. Okay, but first, any birds? Wait. No, I thought it was right there. Any birds above me in the sky? No? You have any birds on you, Cersei? Thought getting rocked by the waves on a small boat like this might make her seasick, but she looks fine so far. Had no idea we'd encounter a curse today. It's a good thing Cersei was here. Otherwise, I'd be genuinely screwed. The weather is great. The sea is calm, yet there's something unsettling in the air.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Are you trying to scare me? We definitely have stuff happening now, don't we? Oh, I can look at the map too. This is definitely the spot indicated by the map. Is there any other dots on here? No. Wait, is there anything else around? Oh yes, the islands. I think that's the remote island of Tsukishima, with Sojijuma Soshijima, visible just beyond.
Soshijima is the place where the pirate daimyo, Kuki Yoshitaka, apparently took his life.
Aha, yeah, it is. It's like at the horizon here. The far shore we see here is Tobi Arashima and Uramura, I believe.
I heard Uramura District's oyster harvest is so plentiful that you can find all-you-can-eat clam buffets from fall to winter there.
Really? We should have come during a different season. Would have loved some fresh oysters. The closest shore to us is the east side of the Shima Peninsula. Got a good view from here. They can see all the way from Mijika to Kuzaki.
That's right. Both have a lot of armor. Kuzaki is especially known as the holy ground for armor divers.
Oh, distant island. The island may look isolated, but it's actually Kamashima. There was a poster for it at the inn.
Whoa!
Whoa! What's so amazing about it?
I can feel a horrible presence even from all the way over here. Almost like some kind of curse. How can I best put it? Like some persistent heavy grudge. Think it's coming from the island's south?
It looks quite normal to me. Is it really that bad?
It is. I'd rather not go there. It'll make me feel sick.
And that's where, And that is where we talked with Yuza, right? Then they were on Kamashima before, and she was like, I have to leave now. Was she getting sick? I almost wonder if maybe she was doing something to like hold back the grudge. I don't know. I'll be very curious what that was about. I'm not sure I understand it, but I'll take out the box anyway. If I need any help, I can always ask Cersei. Now then, how to open this metal box? Should investigate the box and rotate it so I can get a good look at all four sides. So this is the first side, right? Right there. Oh my God, cool. Oh, I felt something move inside the box. Must be on the right track.
Nice, keep at it.
Oh damn, I figured this shit out quickly, didn't I? All right, rotate. No, we're gonna go number 2 now. I think it might be this one. No, not that. No, right here. Yeah. All right, I'm on fire. That's 2. Okay, now back. No, not other way. 3. 2 little dots. I think it's this one. It's here. I found it.
Good job, just one left.
All right, and that's going to be, I think, the really far one. That's like really far though. Oh, I know what it's gonna be. Where we're gonna see that distant one is probably Taishima, and it's not there anymore, right? So it's gonna be here. Yeah. Cool as shit. Cool puzzle. Yes, it's open.
Congratulations. What's inside?
Let's see. Huh? What is this? Uh-oh, Spadulios. That definitely looks like a fucking curse stone. Some kind of small wooden carving.
Oh?
Oh, fuck. The first curse stone we've acquired in this game. Oh, they're back with a vengeance. Curse stone acquired. Curse of the Forsaken Fish. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's you. Whoa, something came out. Yikes. What is this? Make it stop. Horrible, terrible. I want to go. No, it hurts. A deep and painful resentful memory has invaded my mind. Drift forever, ill-doers, be as fish, perish. Oh, fuck. This is the thing I discovered underwater. You have acquired the Curse of the Forsaken Fish Curse Stone. You can use it to turn people into fish and kill them when they are submerged in the water of Issei Bay. It can even be used at a distance, provided the target meets the requirements. Whoa. Press the use curse button when you wish to use it. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go on a murder rampage. Time to go full Shogo and murder everyone I know. Ah. Damn. Took us a long time to get to a curse stone in this game. Holy shit. This is the weird, creepy thing I saw underwater as Yuza as well. A curse born from the final moments of Hayase, a mermaid brutally tortured to death by humans on Taishima around 400 years ago. The curse has the power to kill any human submerged in the waters of Issei Bay by gradually turning them into a fish, starting from their feet. Oh. What the fuck? Oh. Damn, dude, does Avi actually kill fucking Somikawa then? Cause like, she gets apparently taken by Avi, right? According to Cersei, when she confronted Soto and Yumiko. So like, and we found her later as like we were like, oh, is it a mermaid? No, it looks like a human that was transformed part way and was dead and killed that way. Shit, what the fuck? Why would he do that either? Like, why would I want to kill anybody with these things? Getting the curse dregs again? However, the excruciating pain suffered during the transformation often results in them dying before the metamorphosis is complete. Yeah? The bodies of those who succumb to the curse decay almost instantly, shriveling up into a desiccated fibrous mass. The curse can also be triggered remotely, provided that the curse bearer knows their victim's exact location. Damn. So you're like, this is interesting too, because what is going to be the purpose behind doing this in this game, right? I mean, it seems like we obviously have somebody who's going fucking ape shit, right? And murdering everybody with a samurai sword, right? But like, what possible reason would Avi have to do this? What possible reason do I, the player, have to do this? In the last game, they gave us very like, everyone had basically a reason to want to do this. Shogo wanted to revive his dead girlfriend. Haruo wanted to get her son back, shit like that. So I don't know, this is going to be interesting. Mermaids inherently possess the ability to turn humans into fish at will. The curse of the Forsaken Fish is the result of that ability being turned into a conditional curse and sealed within a curse stone. Whoa. Okay. Time to go on a rampage, Avi. What the hell was that?
I'm not certain. But I believe we may have just acquired a curse tool known as the Curse Stone. However, they are rarely possessed by such powerful curse echoes. How lucky.
Is it lucky? If you are truly congratulating me, then I'll happily celebrate with you. But can I ask you something first?
Of course.
Am I cursed? Am I going to die?
I wouldn't say you are cursed per se. There was a similar case in Tokyo last year.
Oh, you guys also brought up, so apparently the thing with Mio and Cersei here, I was like, oh, I hope we see that picture that they brought up, that she took a picture together. So apparently it is not in this game, but it is in fact in the manga, which the manga apparently takes place between the last game and this game. And I think it's actually currently still being released. I don't know if, I think they're getting fan translators translating it because it's in Japanese. Because I don't know if we'll ever actually get an official English version for it. But yeah, it covers how Mio and Cersei met and stuff. That's something I'd love to check out at some point, assuming that we do get a fan translation. But that's cool. Hold on for a minute. I cannot think straight. This is far too overwhelming. An incredible amount of information flooded my mind just now. I need a moment to settle before I can take in anything else.
It must mean the resentful memory held by the curse.
I like how Cersei's so chill about this. I just got the power of a fucking god, Cersei. Don't you get it?
It's a phenomenon where the events leading up to the curse forming are passed down onto the curse bearer, so that its grudge will spread. Oh, and curse bearer refers to someone who is haunted by a curse echo, and thus able to use the curse.
Stop! I already told you I can't take any new information! You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? All right, here we go again. Curse echoes are the visual manifestations of curses. The manifestations are fundamentally related to the origin of the curse, but they do not always take the same shape, sometimes appearing in a more abstract or disfigured form instead. Unlike spirits, they are manifested illusions and as such, no consciousness of their own. A person afflicted by a curse that has a curse echo is called a curse bearer. Even among curses, a curse that contains a curse echo should be considered very powerful in and of itself. Ordinarily, those with no spirit sense would not be able to perceive a curse echo, but such individuals who become curse bearers by coming into possession of a curse stone or some other means can see other curse echoes. Curse stones, a type of curse tool that allows even people without spirit sense to wield curses. As long as the tool meets the above criteria, items of any shape or size may be referred to as curse stones. Many curse stones have conditions that must be fulfilled to use them, often based on the spiritual power and characteristics of the curse itself. If a curse stone has low spiritual power, it may only be possible to use it under specific circumstances, such as when under the influence of the Feast of Shadows, a spell that heightens the potency of certain types of spiritual energy. I do actually legit wonder if at some point Soto is going to use that. I don't know why he would, but I do find it interesting that it's brought up in the game that he can do that, right? That seems like that would be a bad idea. We'd just be doing the Yoko shit all over again. I think I just learned why Taishima sucked 400 years ago. Let me sort all of that out first.
Really? Tell me.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Thank you for investigating the situation for me. I was involved in an accident many years ago, so I can't bring myself to go out to sea anymore. You've been a tremendous help. What about the diver? Is she all right? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We actually got our hands on something quite valuable, so we owe thanks as well. That's great. I'd love to hear more about what you discovered, if you don't mind. Yes, I have nothing serious. I just have the power to turn people into fish. Die!
Why would you do that, Avi?
I don't know. I just want to try it out on something. I was curious. I'm a very naturally curious man. All right, it was fun. How do I turn him back?
You can't. He's dead.
Oh. Yeah. Well, that's chalk that one up to old goofy Avi again, right? Yeah. Oh, crap. After doing that, I've got a taste for seafood. I'm going to start turning everyone to fish. I'm hungry, damn it. Of course. But first, let me look for more birds. Not seeing any birds. But we do have the mysterious music playing. We're currently in the mouth of Kamo River. There's a residential area further upstream. It seems Mr. Ikoma had just arrived in Toba, so we managed to meet up without any problems. Even when a curse fell into our lap, she managed to remain calm, and only a consummate professional like her can be so cool and collected with all that's happened.
Will they believe us if we suddenly start talking about curses?
Can we just not bring it up?
You think you can explain it all without bringing them up?
Well, we'll see how far we get. He may look scary, but his demeanor is surprisingly gentle and kind. He's a very polite young man. Is he, though? I think this is a lot of this is, he's acting that way, but I don't know, man. That face is, only a mother could love. People like him tend to be misunderstood because they're a little awkward. He must struggle with that kind of thing a lot. I mean, it might be just a little too trusting, Avi. This guy reminds me of that one dude from the first game, whose name I can't remember, who, she, like, worked for one of the other old lady antagonists or something, and he was like one of the first people we come across after Yoko dies, and that tries to get us to turn around so he can kill us. Got kind of a similar demeanor. The diver I hired to perform the search was an armor diver living in Toba City by the name of Tamiko Suma. Tamiko Suma? I'm like, I don't think I've met anyone by that name. I thought there was no way we could pull off the search, but that's when she agreed to take on my request. I feel terrible about what happened. I can only hope that she's still out there somewhere unharmed. She had no way of knowing how dangerous this job was. Please, I'm the one who sent her out there. If there is blame to take, it is mine. But still, what exactly happened out there? About that. Let's start with this metal box the armor diver found. Please do. It appears Miss Suma decided to take on my commission alone and set out to sea by herself.
Perhaps things would have ended differently if there had been a boatman with her.
We're in Ikoma's debt. Suppose we ought to tell him everything we've learned. Oh, okay, I guess we're gonna move on to the box. So, basically, this is the wooden carving we found inside the metal box.
I see. So your map indicated the location of this wooden carving.
We believe so.
The question is, why? Why go all the way out not to just hide it, but to conceal the map in a mermaid mummy? How very intriguing. I suppose a carving like that would have had some value back in the day, but to go through all the effort to preserve it like this?
I believe what was preserved was not the carving itself, but the mermaid's memory that was stored inside the curse. Dun dun dun!
A curse? Dun dun what now?
Dun dun dun! In other words, the one who made that box entrusted it with a message, and we are the recipients.
Please calm down. I'm feeling quite lost.
I know you're quite excited, but I think we have no choice but to start explaining the curse.
That's right. It's curse chit-chat time. You may be a bit too irrational to believe what I'm about to tell you, Mr. Ikoma. But even so, I ask that you try your best.
Huh?
If you're ready to hear it, I'm ready to say it. Come, give me your answer in the next 3 seconds. 3.
I'm prepared. Please tell me.
He's so dramatic.
I see. So the Taishima mermaid known as Sayase was killed by the raiders. The hatred she left behind became a curse that entered this wooden carving. You, Avi, then inherited her curse in addition to information from 400 years ago in the form of a resentful memory.
You absorbed all that quite efficiently. I'm impressed.
That was indeed exactly what I just said to you.
This is actually not the first time I've heard of what can happen if one touches a cursed stone.
Oh?
Yes, but let's save that conversation for later. More importantly, you know what actually went down on Taishima 400 years ago?
That's right. I know the truth. All of it. What happened, what didn't. I know it.
You seem a bit frazzled. Do you need more time to collect your thoughts?
There's no need to worry. I am prepared, but it will take some time to explain.
That reminds me, I meant to ask about the metal box. If it's been lying on the seafloor for 400 years, how come it wasn't discovered until now?
It was most likely sealed inside a rock or something until a few months ago.
Till a few months ago. Okay, I'm like, this doesn't have anything to do with me again breaking the chain from before, because I did see that big fish lady. I don't know if she showed up after I cut the chain, right? And she showed up down below, or if that was just something that like could have happened at any time if I just looked in that direction. I don't know, I'm just like waiting for the consequences of whatever the hell that was that I did. But yeah. So it was sealed away until a certain amount of time had passed.
No, I believe that box's unsealing may have been triggered by something.
But I'm actually not sure timeline-wise, does it actually match up with... I mean, I mentioned if that was even the case, then I think we would have still been nearby, right? I don't know if that's where we were technically even doing our deep sea diving or our Ama diving. Okay. It's time to reveal what truly happened 400 years ago to Taishima and the mermaids.
Please do tell.
This will be interesting. Around 400 years ago, the area of Shima province, which included Taishima, was governed by the Kuki clan. Kuki! The leader of the clan at the time was Kuki Sumitaka, and it was his duty to protect the secret of the 3 mermaids living on Taishima.
That must have been Sobai, Nagame, and Hayase.
However, the legend that eating mermaid flesh could grant immortal life was well known. So he secretly hid them on Taishima, so no one would learn about their existence. It appears Sumitaka thought of the mermaids as a sacred or divine existence. The thought of seeking immortality for himself likely never crossed his mind. The land where the mermaids lived was a sanctuary that he fiercely protected at all cost.
In other words, Taishima was an island where people worshipped the mermaids in secret.
Indeed. It meant the people living on the island were not simple commoners, but guards tasked with protecting the sanctuary and its mermaids. Sumitaka was so dedicated to keeping the mermaids secret that he kept the existence of Taishima out of historical records. The public believed the island was entirely uninhabited.
I see. By keeping its existence hidden, he was able to keep the mermaids safe.
However, a vassal of Sumitaka's uncle, Yoshitaka, learned about the mermaids on Taishima. He passed this information on to Yoshitaka, who believed obtaining immortality was a must to rise to the top in an era that was often plagued by war. He commanded his vassal to lead his army to Taishima and do whatever he had to do to return with the flesh of a mermaid. Sumitaka and those on the island resisted, but the invading army was far too powerful. The island was swiftly overrun. Ultimately, Hayase was captured and brought before the vassal. The vassal tortured her, demanding she grant him the power of immortality. But Hayase did not yield, even to the most hellish torments. She screamed and cursed with despair and anger until her dying breath.
That's horrible.
The hatred Hayase felt at the moment of her death led to the creation of the curse of the Forsaken Fish. And that is what I learned from the resentful memory inside the curse stone. Pretty neat, huh? But to be honest, that is only half.
Half of what?
Half of the memories. The other half is the memories of the one who left behind the metal box. Namely, the story of how the curse of the Forsaken Fish became a curse stone. Okay. Having failed to obtain immortality, the vassal flew into a rage. He had all inhabitants of Taishima slaughtered as revenge for keeping this secret.
This guy was the worst.
Finally, he continued his advance into the sanctuary the islanders had protected down to the last man. There he destroyed its shrine. What irony that he came so close to the secret he had been so desperate to find.
Are you saying the other two mermaids were still in the sanctuary?
No, they had already fled Taishima. Actually, there were two other survivors. Sumitaka's adopted daughter, Princess Hatsune, also escaped the chaos of the invasion unscathed. There was one other islander who managed to survive as well, taking with him the treasure that the mermaids had protected.
The mermaid's treasure.
This may shed some light on the descendant you spoke of earlier.
Of course. She must be a descendant of the man that escaped that day.
This is not... Okay, yeah, no, this is... So he's talking about the person that told him the story about Taishima and all that, right? That is not... That is not Somikawa. That is not Mare, essentially. Mare is potentially a descendant of the of Yoshitaka then, right? The one that actually attacked. We now know she was correct when she spoke of 3 mermaids living on Taishima.
So we do.
Putting the sentence aside for now, let's return to 400 years ago. The vassal's invasion and destruction of the sanctuary was like a trigger. As a reaction to the sanctuary's fate and their own ill-deserved deaths, the sorrow and hatred of the islanders swirled together and formed into the curse of the raging waves, a natural disaster that shook the heavens when it descended upon Taishima. The curse bombarded Taishima with violent winds, earthquakes, and thunder. Then in a final act to protect Taishima's lost sanctuary, they sank it into the sea to destroy all evidence of it ever existing.
They destroyed it.
The small island of Taishima sunk swiftly under the waves. The vassal and all of his men were, of course, all killed thanks to the curse. But one problem remained.
That wasn't the end of it. But wait, there's more?
Taishima was destroyed by the natural disasters caused by the curse of the raging waves. But the calamity continued for many days. It must have seemed as though it would never end.
I can't imagine how terrifying it must have been.
Sumitaka even sought out a famous Onmyoji to dispel the curse, but he was unsuccessful. The curse would eventually sink to the bottom of the sea, alongside the sanctuary, and be sealed there. Only then did the calamity end. Yet it appears this curse was so powerful that it required a sacrifice to be truly sealed.
A sacrifice?
Not just any sacrifice, but a living one. Princess Hatsune offered herself up to be that sacrifice.
Oh. You said she was Sumitaka's adopted daughter, yes? And that she lived on Taishima.
That appears to be the case. Sumitaka was evidently so taken with her that he decided to adopt her. The rumor that she threw herself down a well was likely spread to cover up the real cause of her death.
Yeah, I see, like, now we're already seeing why we had all those stories, right? We're already getting now the connections being made of, like, well, this is what they originally were, and this is what the actual truth is.
So Princess Hatsune was actually sacrificed.
The seal would hold for 400 years. They must have hoped that the curse itself would fade during that time, too. However, the curse of the forsaken fish created by Hayase also continued to linger in the same place. So the Onmyoji sealed it inside the wooden carving, turning into a curse stone. Aha. Then the same Onmyoji, knowing that the seal would only last 400 years, stored his memories within the curse stone to pass on this information. That's convenient. Thank you, Mr. Onmyoji guy, for all that sweet context.
He wished to pass down his knowledge for others to use in the event that the curse outlasted the 400-year lifespan of the seal.
Which is likely what we're approaching, right?
He left behind instructions on how to completely dispel the curse of the raging waves.
Wait, he left instructions? Why didn't he just do it then? Indeed, I've compiled it all in my files. Curse of the Raging Waves. A curse that causes an outbreak of turbulent waves and violent storms in the seas around Kamishima. Actually, I guess technically, I think that's already actually run out, because that's what's seemingly happened to Mari and them, right? Or maybe that was just like it breaking through the seal some. Mari and Yuzu's parents and everything, and Azami's parents. It said the curse was born from the resentment of the former residents of Taishima, an island once located to the south of Kamishima. After someone brought about its destruction, some believe that several of the disasters that have struck Kamishima in the past were actually caused by the curse in some manner, including the Kamishima South Sea disaster that occurred 5 years ago. The person accused of bringing the curse to Kamishima was called the Raging Waves Curse Bearer and was shunned by the island's inhabitants. So they're saying that they think Mare was that curse bearer. It'd be kind of ironic, though, if she was truly a descendant of the of Yoshitaka, right? And like the vassal or whatever, like his group. But she was the one who actually, and they basically formed this curse to kill them. That'd be ironic if she was really a descendant of the bad people using the curse of the good people to murder people, or something. Essentially using the resentment that they were trying to use to punish the evildoers to, I don't know, guess fuck everybody else up for reasons. I don't know. But that's, I think, well, okay. But in truth, the curse has been perpetually active ever since its inception. Okay, I think it's saying that she really didn't have anything to do with it. She was accused of it, but it wasn't true. The sacrifice offered 400 years ago merely served to seal the source of the calamity during this time. It is believed that Mare Minakuchi attempted to lift the curse once and for all, only for her failure to give rise to the disaster 5 years ago. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, she was trying to lift it, huh? She was actually trying to stop it before it got worse. So she actually ended up being sort of a hero. Or at least was trying to be. In the event that the curse did not fade during the 400 years it was sealed, the Onmyoji originally responsible for sealing the curse left behind a plan to dispel it. It was his belief that the curse's power would have weakened enough by that point that performing the following steps would be enough to lift the curse completely. Okay, so this is why he couldn't do it then. It's like, all right, if it's still there, it should work now. First, thou must imbind my seal, risen from the depths within the iron box. Okay, we did that. Second, thou must offer the still-tied mirror bequeathed by the sacrifice to the sanctuary. So, bequeathed by the Princess Hatsune? Or a descendant, maybe? And third, let those who share blood with the lost souls of Taishima be the ones to offer appeasement. Okay. Okay. So who is Mare then? We still don't actually know. It actually seems more likely that she would actually be a descendant of the people of Taishima and not the ones who under Yoshitaka.
Huh. So that's what happened.
And that wraps it up. I got all that info beamed into my brain in a flash, and I still managed to present it as an enticing narrative, eh? How amazing was that?
You're utterly astounding. Wow, incredible.
I know, aren't I the best? Oh, it's a long one. Holy shit. All right. The invasion of Taishima. Around 400 years ago, during the Sengoku period, Oda Nobunaga was assassinated at Han-Noji Temple. Kuki Yoshitaka, commander of the Kuki Navy, had steadily been gaining influence within the clan, but he now found himself at a crossroads in an era still racked by the turmoil of war. It was then that a vassal of the Kuki clan, Kamatsu Sadamune, approached him with some intriguing information. According to Sadamune, 3 mermaids were said to be living on Taishima under the protection of some of the island's residents, even though the island was originally thought to be uninhabited. It was widely known through folklore that eating the flesh of a mermaid granted one immortality and eternal youth. Sadamune urged Yoshitaka to take advantage of this, suggesting that if he possessed such power, an invincible army would be his to command. Seeing this as the opportunity he had been waiting for, Yoshitaka ordered Sadamune to capture the mermaids and bring them back to him. However, Kuki Sumitaka, Yoshitaka's nephew and head of the clan at the time, strongly opposed his approaching Taishima. It was in fact Sumitaka who had secretly been protecting the mermaids on Taishima, believing the mermaids to be messengers of God and the island a sacred sanctuary. He had worked to keep them isolated from outside influence. His adopted daughter, Princess Hatsune, was also living in hiding on Taishima at the time for other reasons, which further strengthened his opposition to Yoshitaka's plan. However, it was not long before Kamatsu Sadamune learned of this. He reported to Yoshitaka that Sumitaka was not only planning to keep the mermaids for himself, but also was secretly moving to build an army of his own. Infuriated by what he perceived as an act of rebellion, Yoshitaka gave the order for Sadamune to prepare a military invasion of Taishima. Upon receiving the order, Kamatsu Sadamune immediately set sail for Taishima at the head of a large army. Caught off guard by the unexpected attack, Sumitaka scrambled to send out his own forces in an attempt to resist, but was unable to prevent the enemy from landing. In the blink of an eye, the once peaceful and beautiful landscape of Taishima was transformed into a nightmare. The islanders, guardians of the sacred land, desperately fought back, but they stood no chance against seasoned soldiers hardened by years of battle on the front lines, and one after another they fell before the invaders. Sadamune ordered that even the women and children be cut down without mercy, and soon the waters around Taishima ran red with blood. Dude, I feel like in that one ending where everyone on Kamishima gets fucking cut down too, that shit was probably going to lead to the creation of a curse stone as well. Let's be honest, right? We're also fucking pissed off about that. Sadamune's forces swept across the island, searching every inch for signs of the mermaids as they pressed their assault. Finally, they discovered a mermaid in hiding by the name of Hayase and captured her. Sadamune demanded that she make his troops immortal, but the mermaids staunchly refused. Even as Sadamune turned to torture, inflicting unspeakable pain with every refusal. The torture escalated until eventually even her supernatural nature was not enough to withstand the torment. On the brink of death and resigned to her fate, Hayase gave a final terrible cry, overflowing with resentment and anger as she breathed her last. Sadamune ordered his men to take the flesh from her body, but as they moved to do so, a strange phenomenon began to occur. All the soldiers who approached her body began to transform into fish, their bodies decaying rapidly as the transformation took hold. Hayase had cast a curse upon them with her dying breath. With the one mermaid Sadamune had captured dead and his forces just decimated, he began a mad search of the island in pursuit of the remaining 2 mermaids. Eventually, he found a deep cave in the interior of the island that extended far beneath the earth, reaching down to the sea floor, and the deepest parts of the cave was a shrine, and a door with a powerful seal over it that he couldn't open no matter how hard he tried. Convinced this had to be the entrance to the sacred land, the home of the mermaids, Sadamune gathered all of his remaining gunpowder and artillery and unleashed it on the door, destroying both it and the shrine in the process. Whoops. The next moment, a violent tremor racked the entire island, and the skies above were engulfed by a storm. The repercussions of his desecration of the sacred land and the resentment of the islanders he had senselessly slaughtered blend together, unleashing an all-consuming calamity that seemed to shake the very heavens and earth. Ravaged by fierce earthquakes and vicious storms, Taishima sank beneath the waves, as if nature itself sought to protect the land by erasing all traces of its existence. That's where Taishima and the Sacred Land, along with Sadamune and his army, lost to the sea in an instant. The only survivors of this tragedy were 2 mermaids and 2 islanders that had successfully made their escape from the island. Hayase had, in fact, stayed behind his bait to allow the others to escape. The 2 surviving islanders were Princess Hatsune and a man named Somikawa. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. I was right. Oh, shit. She is. She's not a descendant. Mare Minakuchi, whose maiden name is Somikawa, was not a descendant. Oh, I called it. She was not a descendant of Yoshitaka or Sadamune or whatever. She was a descendant of the original people of Taishima. You stupid bitches. Stupid assholes. She was trying to save you. Who had been assigned the duty of protecting a relic important to the mermaids. However, the tale did not end with the sinking of Taishima. Sumitaka eventually made it to the seas near the island, but a fierce anger and resentment darkened the waters around it, and the curse born from these dark emotions, the curse of the raging waves, had given rise to a storm that continued to rage even several days after the incident. Furthermore, the curse born from Ayase's final moments, the curse of the Forsaken Fish, was also continued to exert its influence on the area, causing anyone who entered the storm's domain to transform into a fish. The situation had grown beyond anyone's ability to control. Sumitaka looked for a solution, turned to Tsuchimikado Harukage, a renowned onimyoji and friend of Princess Hatsune. After conducting an investigation, Harukage concluded that the source of the curse was the Sacred Land, now sunken beneath the waves. Although the curse was too powerful to dispel, it would be possible to seal the Sacred Land by offering up a sacrifice, thereby suppressing its calamitous effects. The seal would last for 400 years, by which time he anticipated that the curse of the raging waves would dissipate. Hearing this, Princess Hatsune volunteered to sacrifice herself in the hopes that it would bring peace to the souls of the islanders who had looked after her during her time on Taishima. With her noble sacrifice, the storm at last died down and peace was restored to the seas around the island. A bronze mirror in Princess Hatsune's possession at the time was imbued with the power to serve as a talisman to calm raging waves, and was passed from person to person over the years, eventually making its way to Kamishima. Did I just get a mirror as Yuza? But that was like, wasn't that something that's like being sold in shops or something? No, actually, I think it was a wooden mirror. Or something. Some kind of goofy mirror. I'll have to, I think, is it my thing here? Tsuchimikado Harukage was also able to seal the curse of Forsaken Fish in the wooden accessory that Princess Hatsune had been wearing, turning into a curse stone. Harukage used the resentful memories contained within the curse stone to create a record of the event, which he sealed within a heavily locked iron box before concealing it in a rock on the seabed. And the event of the curse of the raging waves had not abated even after 400 years. He made it so that the seal on the rock would be lifted at the same time as the seal on the Sacred Land, so that the record of what happened and the method of undoing the curse would make its way to future generations. Yeah, I see. So, okay. The seal on the rock that was holding this iron box would be lifted at the same time as the seal on the Sacred Land. Okay, I see. So, that was the case. I don't think that was my doing. As Yuza. Meanwhile, to protect the Sacred Land and the mermaids, Sumitaka ensured all records of Taishima were erased, so no mention of the island or the disaster that had befallen it would make its way into historical accounts. He also concocted a tale in which Princess Hatsune had thrown herself down a well in a defiance of a political marriage in order to conceal her sacrifice. Afterwards, Kugi Yoshitaka, infuriated not only by his failure to obtain immortality, but also by the loss of his primary military force, murdered Sumitaka, who opposed him to the very end and seized control of the Kugi clan in both name and nature. Jesus. Wow, what a nice uncle. Yet his vassals searched the area around Taishima countless times after that, but it is said that they found neither the mermaids nor any trace of their existence. Damn, that was a hell of a story. Wait, hold on. I don't think the objects I'm getting, like, I don't think that mirror I got is actually in here. Yeah, I don't think so. I compiled all the details of the story in these files, so feel free to go over it at your own pace.
Oh, thank you. How very convenient.
Okay, I guess the end of that. Now the Amadiver.
After Misuma found the metal box, you mean to tell me she's died?
It is likely. If you consider that the curse of the Forsaken Fish had completely saturated the metal box, it is likely already too late for her.
How horrible.
So she likely turned into a fish and died soon after. There's a high chance her transformed body will wash up will wash up on shore soon. Oh, this might be the first body. This is the mermaid body, quote unquote, that the old man gets a hold of, probably. Not the other one, not the Somakawa one we'll get later. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Okay, I guess we're done with that. What do you think of all this?
Wait a second.
Is something wrong?
Avi, if someone is affected by the curse of the Forsaken Fish, the transformation starts at the feet and travels slowly up, yes?
I believe so, though it's hard to say for sure without witnessing it.
If it is true, then that may explain the true identity of the fish mermaids discovered in this area. It could have been the bodies of those who died in the middle of a transforming due to the curse of the Forsaken Fish.
Oh, that's a convincing theory. Fish mermaids have been recorded as having only human heads or faces, or appearing human just from the chest or shoulders up. If the curse starts at the feet and travels upward, that would explain the variety of fish mermaids that have appeared.
The process is so painful that most die mid-transformation. Then the curse causes the corpse to rapidly wither, forming a fibrous mass.
Gah!
It may even be the true identity of your mermaid mummy.
Interesting. Still, without analyzing it directly, there is no way to know for certain. But perhaps this is why the mermaid mummies originating from Japan are of such high quality. What's the look on his face there, huh?
Of course, this doesn't mean that all fish mermaids and mermaid mummies are authentic.
But it means there's a possibility.
Any number of fish mermaids could actually be victims of this curse.
This guy's watching very intrigued here, right?
Actually, I just remembered there were 2 points from your tale I wanted to discuss.
About the events 400 years ago.
My first point concerns the vassal who tortured the mermaid in an attempt to attain immortality. If all he needed was the mermaid's flesh, what necessity would there be in torturing her?
Oh, that's true. It could mean that the vassal ate the mermaid's flesh but did not become immortal. So he tortured her to figure out why.
As for the second observation, I have a theory that the area you described as the sanctuary. Could it possibly be referring to an entrance to Ryugu?
Yeah.
Ryugu?
It is sometimes also referred to as the eternal world or the world beyond. In some legends, mermaids are priestesses who serve the ruler of Ryugu, the god of the sea.
I see. If the sanctuary was actually an entrance to Ryugu, then that could mean that the mermaids were not living on Taishima, but merely traveling there from Ryugu.
Yes, I believe that to be the case. It would also explain why the destruction of this sanctuary would inspire the fury of the god of the sea. To be honest, it's difficult to believe that the grudges of the inhabitants of Taishima would be enough to explain what happened. How could they possibly engender a curse powerful enough to sink an island and linger for more than 400 years? However, it's quite easy to believe that a curse from Ryugu could maintain such power.
That also explains the necessity of a living sacrifice. Of course, one would be required to seal an entrance to Ryugu. But if the entrance to Ryugu was sealed, what became of the 2 mermaids that fled Taishima?
I doubt Sobai and Nagame managed to return to Ryugu. I believe they have been living here in the human world for the past 400 years, waiting for the seal to be lifted.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like Yusa's mom was a mermaid, like he thought. Because just one of the other 2 islanders that lived there and escaped.
They just hid somewhere away from human eyes.
If that is true, then they've been successfully hiding for over 400 years.
Of course, if they were to hide themselves at the bottom of the sea, it'd be practically impossible to find them. It is also possible they've been wandering the globe rather than lingering in one place.
That could explain all the mermaid sightings around the world. They could all be these same 2.
All this discussion of hiding made me realize something.
What is it?
Do you recall the story Mr. Akuma told us yesterday of the mermaid who became human?
Ah. Are you suggesting she decided to join human society because she could not return to Ryugu?
It's possible it's a possibility we should consider.
But that occurred only a few decades ago. Why would she decide to become human just before the seal was released?
Perhaps her circumstances changed. We can only speculate on the motivations of someone who has lived for centuries. It is possible that she did not feel compelled, but decided to become human out of her own desire.
Could she have met someone she wanted to live a mortal life with, like in The Little Mermaid?
That is certainly a possibility, and quite romantic too.
I'll have to write this down. It could make a solid novel.
Oh, I've just realized something.
What is it? What else have you realized?
You heard about this mermaid from the descendant of the Taishima survivor, yes?
That's correct.
I feel it's only right that they are informed of the things we learned. We'd love to talk to her. We're quite curious about this mermaid treasure, too. It must have been passed down to them through the generations. Yeah, I think they said that she had something with her, right? That, Mari has something with her. I think they assumed it was like a curse stone or something, but I think it's apparently some mermaid treasure.
I understand. I'll probably drop by her place later anyway, since I also have to handle the matter with Miss Suma. I'll discuss it with her then.
Thanks, that'd be great.
That said, in return, I have a favor to ask of you.
Go ahead. We will do whatever we can.
You said that the seal over the entrance to Ryugu has been lifted. Is that correct?
Yes, it has most likely been gone for several months now.
Huh? Really?
A horrible curse has been swirling around the area where Taishima used to be. It's possible that the curse is the curse of the raging waves, and has surged up from Ryugu once more now that the seal has been lifted. The fact that we were able to open the metal box is proof enough that the seal has faded.
That would mean the entrance to Ryugu is now open.
Well, the situation is quite unstable now, what with the curse of the raging waves seeping in through the entrance.
Yeah, so that old man, right? I'm pretty fucking sure that this guy here is like his protege, right? And is likely also interested in retrieving the mermaid and the curse and everything. I'm trying to remember what was his reasoning again? Why? Hold on. What was his reasoning again for why he didn't want the other guy? What was his name? Wakamaru? Why wasn't he like? He began to seriously consider the issue of successor to remind his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen sense with immortality around, and so secretly investing vast amounts of money into the research. But why would Shinobu Wakamura not be that person? Is he like, he said that he recently became an ardent devotee of a certain famous sorcerer. At the time, he sort of made it sound like he didn't want to do that because he seemed like he was so into the occult bullshit. But this old man is fucking into that shit too, dude. He's trying to become immortal from a fucking mermaid. But I feel like this guy is going to end up he's going to end up, I think, telling Yoshiatsu about this. And he's going to be like, oh, goody, I'm going to go down there and open that gate or whatever. At any rate, what did you want us to do?
There's an island called Kamishima that is located quite close to where Taishima once was. There's something I would like you to do for me there. This request does, in fact, have some relation to our current conversation.
Oh.
Now then, Avi. We decided to tell Ikoma everything, but I know there's some information you kept from him.
Oh, did I?
Yes, something from the mermaid's memories. The real way to obtain immortality.
That's right. I see no reason to inform him about it. After all, no matter what he may say about tourist attractions, this guy is also after immortality.
Yeah.
I saw him straighten up when you talked about the mermaid being tortured because her captor required more than her flesh for immortality.
Are you sure? I thought his goal, if he even had one, was to quell the curse of the raging waves.
Perhaps there's that too. He even asked us to go to Kamishima and find the still-tide mirror in his stead. Oh, okay. Oh, is that what? That might be the item that Mari had. Was the still-tide mirror. You did mention lifting the curse required the mirror as well as the help of the Taishima descendant, right?
There was also something about lifting a seal first, but I don't know what that part's all about.
Well, I see no harm in quelling the curse, so I say we continue to cooperate for now.
Agreed. Though I do wish we did not have to approach Kamishima at all. The evil atmosphere is nauseating.
However, we must consider the possibility that Ikoma actually has his eyes set on the mermaids in Ryugu. Okay, good. I'm glad he's thinking of that. It's possible he may be searching for mermaids, like us. I suppose that discussion can wait for later. First, we must find the treasure that the survivor managed to slip out of Taishima.
You mean the treasure acquired in addition to mermaid flesh when attempting to gain immortality?
Oh, is that not the Siltide mirror? Oh. Yes. No, it is not. It's a treasure known as the Tamate Bako. Did we get that name before? Mermaid flesh has to be put inside and purified by it to have any effect. Tamate Bako. I feel like that word has been thrown around before. God, we've had so much shit thrown at us. That word has definitely been used at some point. Oh, here we go. Ryu Palace, Taro spends days treated to elegant dances, blah, blah, blah. After spending some time enjoying his luxurious lifestyle, Taro began to miss his village. He asked Odahime for permission to return home, and although sad to see him go, grants request. As a parting gift, she handed him a mysterious box, a Tamate Bako, but warned him never to open it. So in this story, right, he opened the box after he went back and discovered that that apparently had been gone for years, and then it basically made time catch up to him, and suddenly he aged it became really, really old. Interesting. Okay. So, provided one has both the flesh of a human mermaid and a Tamate Bako, then immortality is indeed attainable. Boom! Hey, the Tamate Bako. A box, often referred to as a relic, used by mermaids who once lived near Taishima. A similar box also made its appearance in the tale of Urashima Taro as the box gifted to the eponymous protagonist by Odahime, leading to its name becoming widely known. The box is filled with a spiritual energy similar in nature to that which fills Ryugu, the mermaid's original home. Objects placed within it may thus be kept in the same state that they would be within Ryugu. It is said that the mermaids used the box to bring objects from Ryugu with them that they would otherwise have been unable to transport to the material world, but also has a secondary effect of returning mermaid flesh, normally only able to exist in a transient state in the material world, to the state it would be in Ryugu, thereby restoring its ability to grant immortality. Wow. Complicated.
If we could meet with the Taishima descendant, they could probably provide us with information on the Tamate Bako.
I concur. If we can get our hands on the Tamate Bako, we wouldn't have to worry about Ikoma. However, it's likely he's wary of us and will keep us from meeting the descendant.
At the very least, we know he's cautious enough to keep our name secret. Well, that's why I asked him to hand her our little souvenir.
Ah, what was that all about anyway? You're sure we're not going to need that iron box?
I doubt we will need it again. Plus, you can think of it as a backup plan.
Eh? Regardless of what happens, we'll be able to meet with the descendant tomorrow. Because she'll know, right? Okay, we give him the box. She'll get the box from him, and then she'll know that the plan has been set in motion, I guess, right? Let's get our hands on that mermaid treasure. Time to find a Tamate Bako.
Okay.
I love tomatoes. Tamate Bako. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, maybe technically I guess I did release it, whatever that chain was down there, but I don't think it sounds to me like this is all done months ago, so. Descendant in duty, damn. It's funny how Sato has had nothing though, just this one with her friend. Oh, we're on a roll here, might as well keep going, right? Descendant in duty. So yeah, we still haven't caught up to this one yet, where they actually arrive on Kamishima. So the Tamate Bako, a treasure required to obtain immortality. Ave assumes that the descendant of Taishima, whom Ikoma knows, has inherited it. He tries to scheme a way to meet them. Oh, this actually might be lining up to when... I think it actually is, yeah. Lining up to when Cersei meets with Soto and Yumiko. Hello again! Arnie Bonham's back on the scene. Allow me to summarize. As expected, Ikoma contacted us today, telling us we'd have to wait a little longer before we could meet the Descendant. Thus, figuring he had no intention of letting us meet her anyway, we decided to use Cersei's ability to go looking for the Descendant ourselves. He's like directly at us as he says this shit.
Who exactly are you talking to?
I'm merely setting the scene. Really feels like it raises the stakes, no? Makes it feel more like a thrilling adventure.
Sure, you got me all worked up. But I'm trying to concentrate, so could you please stop distracting me?
Oh, right. Sorry. Any burbs? No, we stood here before. This is actually where we stood before with Yumiko and Soto. This is the town of Ejika in Toba City. The area is one of many in the area renowned for its armor divers. Cersei is completely focused on dowsing right now. There are several types of dowsing techniques, but it seems like she's using a pendulum. It would seem that the necklace she wears can be used for such a purpose. The closer you get to the target, the stronger the pendulum swings. Cool. Cersei's using her dowsing ability. What's that? Doesn't her dowsing only let us look for spiritual energy? And on top of that, doesn't she have to be familiar with the energy she's looking for? That's right, I was thinking the same thing. However, Cersei was perfectly prepared. Before parting with Ikoma yesterday, she asked him to hand the iron box to the Descendant when he paid her a visit. Oh, she said the Descendant ought to have it, since it is so deeply connected to Taishima's history. Oh, I get it. So now she can follow who has the box. Ikoma agreed on the matter and would apparently go through with it, assuming he did hand it over. Then the iron box with its massive amount of spiritual energy has fallen right into the lap of our target. Now Cersei just has to use her dowsing to locate the box. At least that's the plan. I said very loudly to myself. She seems focused. Best not to interrupt her now. So any things going on in the vicinity? Any birds? Any creepy things? However, her dowsing's range is limited. With the spiritual energy the iron box possesses, its range is probably just 2 to 3 kilometers. So we had to narrow down the target area somewhat before starting our search. Blah, 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 blah. So, any idea when we might start looking for the Descendant?
I think Mr. Ikoma said something about visiting her several times before she finally agreed to talk, didn't he?
He did, which would mean that she doesn't live far away. She's a difficult person. She must live close enough for him to have paid her frequent visits.
Yes, exactly. So I think it'd be best to start by searching the towns within Toba.
I see. There are quite a few towns in the area, right?
About that, when we parted yesterday, Mr. Ikoma mentioned something else that stuck with me. When you asked to meet the Descendant, he said he'd probably drop by later anyway, since he also had to handle the matter with Miss Suma.
Right. I also thought that was an interesting thing. All right, he did say that. So basically, the Descendant knew Suma. The Descendant lived close to Suma, yeah. That means the Descendant and Suma knew each other.
No, where did you get that from?
I mean, you know, it'd be an interesting twist. Oh.
I'd sure be a surprise, but that's not what I was getting at. He said it was like he was going to drop by on his way over, which means they likely live close to each other.
Aha! Another twist!
What? Sorry, but you've lost me. Anyway, it means we should target the areas that are most populated by alma divers.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's what you meant. So that means we should probably start by searching all the towns in Toba that are home to a lot of alma divers.
That's right. We can make our way up by searching along the coast for starters.
It'd be nice if we at least learn the descendant's name.
We might have a lead on that. Think of your research into the past of this place.
Oh, right. I believe the name was... What was the name of the Taishima survivor? I remember. I've been paying attention. Somakawa. It spell checks it. Somakawa. That's what Taishima's survivor was called. If there are any descendants, then they may still bear the same name.
That's right. It's another clue we can follow.
I've been keeping track of all these Japanese names being thrown at me. And so we ended up spending this morning traveling along the coast from one fishing town to another. This is the 4th town we've searched so far. So time we actually find something. Well then, perhaps it's about time I checked in with Cersei to see how things are going. So, Cersei, what's the situation? We've been standing here for like 10 minutes while I've been narrating to myself.
Want to give it a try?
Huh? Really? Will it still work if it's me?
I'll still be holding the pendulum, but you can see for yourself if you like.
Color me intrigued. I'm in. Mine.
Alright, just like this. I'll hold the pendulum. Track me to move in the different directions to see where it reacts.
Very well. Bring it on.
The pendulum won't respond right away, so the trick is to point it in one direction and wait a while. Once you find the spot where it reacts the strongest, just shout that you figured it out.
Got it. When it comes to yelling, I'm your guy. Not getting anything yet. Oh, hey. Oh, we're getting some movement now. Holy moly, look at it go. Whoa! There, right there.
You got it!
So that means it's somewhere up there.
Well, it may still be a bit further out, but at least we figured out what direction to go.
I knew it was about time we hit the right spot. All right, let's follow this thing and see where it leads us.
Right.
Like she just like let me control, even though she knew where to go. I was just gonna, but I'm helping, really. She let him have his fun.
This is it. It's the apartment furthest back on this building's ground floor.
Got it. Hello? Anybody home? It's me, R.N.A. Barnum. You know, renowned author, extraordinaire, most eligible bachelor on the planet.
Wow, you don't hesitate, huh?
We're here on behalf of Mr. Ikoma. No answer. Guess no one's home.
No, I can sense a presence.
Hello? We'd like to talk about the iron box. Oh, shit.
What is it?
It's her.
Ah, you two. Avi and Cersei, is it? So you're the ones who found that iron box. Yes, that's right. You know, I've never talked to foreigners before. I'm so nervous. I can hardly think straight.
Please, no need to be so tense, Miss Somakawa. I promise we're both harmless and cheerful. Just ignore the fact that I've got a custode with me and I can murder you at any instant.
Right.
Also, do you happen to have any birds in here? She was more willing to meet us than unexpected. That iron box proved more useful than I thought. Nice work, Cersei. I'll treat you to more onigiri sanbei later. She may look calm on the surface, but I know she must be excited to peek inside a traditional Japanese home. Well, a wooden apartment like this is pretty old school. I can see why she'd be geeking out. I'm geeking out as well.
I'm so glad we got a chance to talk with her.
So she is a descendant of the last Taishima survivor. The way she dresses makes her look older, but I'd say she's probably around my age. I thought she'd be difficult to deal with, but we've actually met her. I'd say it's more like she's extremely cautious, the type to never let her guard down. I can't even begin to imagine the kind of life she's led. Still, the fact that she's wearing traditional clothing is actually quite charming. I've hardly seen anyone wear traditional clothes since coming to Japan, which is a bit of a shock, to be honest. Allow me to emphasize what an honor it is to meet a descendant of the Taishima.
Who's to say it's even true?
I suppose your family must have lived in this town for generations.
Nah, I moved here a couple years back.
Oh? Why's that?
That's got nothing to do with the two of you.
Ah, fair enough. If you don't mind me asking, do you have any other family or relatives, Miss Somikawa?
Why?
Apologies. I was merely wondering if there are any other descendants.
Don't know, but I'm probably the only one left. That too will come to an end soon enough.
You've got a son, don't you lie to me. Oh? What do you mean by that?
No more than what I said.
So, do you live here by yourself, Miss Somikawa?
That's right.
Okay. Under that, I guess.
Where exactly did you come across the iron box?
I follow this map that was in my family's possession. Supposedly, it was left behind by the Onmyoji who sealed away the curse of Taishima.
A map, you say?
It led us to the iron box. It must have been resting at the bottom of Issei Bay. Since it's such a valuable artifact deeply connected to Taishima's lost history, we felt we absolutely had to tell you about it, Miss Somikawa.
Oh, yeah?
If I may say so, I noticed your interest in the iron box. Could it be you already knew of its existence?
I didn't know it was a box, but I've been told something still remained of the island.
That makes sense.
Speaking of that box, I don't suppose there was something inside.
Yes, inside was a record detailing how Taishima was destroyed, along with the information on the curse of the raging waves.
A record?
Oh, allow me to fill you in on the details. So basically, I have the power to turn people into fish. Pretty cool, right?
That's not really what you should be taking for that.
No, that's absolutely what you should be taking. And I am a freaking demigod now, with the power to make seafood whenever I please. And that sums it up. Such a horrid man, wouldn't you say? Massacring the people of Taishima because he wanted to find a mermaid that bad. The grudges left behind by the events coalesced into two separate curses, and ultimately, Taishima was destroyed along with everything else. I'm sure it must be excruciating to hear the tale of how your ancestors' home was destroyed. But I believe this story should be passed down, so people can learn of Taishima's true history. Wouldn't you agree?
And that was all recorded in that box.
Oh, so he didn't mention the curse or any of that, huh? Just the record of what it mentioned.
And that was all recorded in that box? It was a pretty tiny box.
Now, we better wait before broaching this topic. If she realized that we're after the Tamate Bako, it'd only make her more cautious. By the way, you may consider this the curious whims of a fantasy author, but would you be able to elucidate me on some of the stories that have been passed down in your family?
Now I get it. You also came here because you want to ask about mermaids, eh?
Got me. Not at all. All right, you got me there. It's true. But can you blame me? As a fantasy author, it is in my blood. If mermaids truly do exist, then I must sate my curiosity.
I knew it. Whatever your motives, you're not getting the Tamate Bako. I'm not falling for one of Ikoma's schemes.
Oh, shit. Darn.
I'm not going to share the family legends of Taishima with just anyone.
Oh, here we go. Miss Sumikawa brought up the Tamate Bako all on her own. She really does have it then. Just as I thought, Mr. Ikoma is after it too. That sneak. Did you just say that Ikoma is after the Tamate Bako?
Oh, so you didn't know. Well, he is. That's exactly why I hid it somewhere no one will ever find it.
I see. It must be very precious to you then. Well, I'm relieved that iron box on its way to you then. Damn, she's got the duck face too. Everyone does.
So, was there a curse stone inside the iron box?
A curse? What?
Don't play dumb. There must have been one.
Well, whatever do you mean? So you already knew about it. There was indeed a curse stone inside.
That's what I thought. Then how about a trade? You two want the Tamate Bako, don't you?
Oh, a trade. Oh. I didn't think we'd be going this far out. You certainly shook me when you said we had to take a boat all of a sudden. Think the Tamate Bako would be hidden at sea. What an incredible plot twist. Oh, here we go. So now, right now is when Cersei is confronting Soto and Yumiko. Is right now. So she came willingly with us, and that was sort of the suggestion that she wasn't necessarily against her will, right? I see. So yeah, so she's currently stalling them because they're after her. My apologies. I guess it's just the writer and me coming through. It's all too thrilling. But now the question is, what's going to happen out here? How does she end up essentially getting cursed? Will I have a choice here?
You sure can talk.
Maybe she attacks me or something? I don't know. No, believe it or not, I'm actually holding back. I actually go on and on at great length once I get started.
That wasn't praise. There's nowhere to run on an island, no matter where you go.
Someone's always near.
Someone's always near. It's always too loud, grating on the ears. The sea, though, once you get this far out, it's nice and quiet. Nothing but the sound of the waves. No talking, no irritating folk or commotion. Only fish swimming without a sound.
You're just a bundle of joy, aren't you?
This is fine. Stop the boat.
Hi? I am starting to think she might be trying to steal this thing from me. She's not giving me the Tamate Bako either. We're somewhere off the coast of Toba City, accompanied only by the sound of the waves and the cries of seabirds. She really hide the Tamate Bako here, in a place with no marks whatsoever. Is that a butterfly by my head right now? What is that? Even if it's at the bottom of the ocean here, how are we supposed to retrieve it? Seriously, what is that fucking butterfly by my head? Miss Sumikawa used to be an Alma diver. She'd be planning to go down and get it herself. Can I see this thing? It is. What the fuck is that? Whoa! This is one of Cersei's abilities. A Shikigami. Ah, yes, that's right. When someone's name is written on a piece of paper, she can make that paper fly toward the person. They're great for delivering messages or tracking down someone. It was pretty spooked the first time I saw it, but I've gotten used to it. Okay, fine. I did just go, whoa, not because I was actually surprised or anything. It was in my head.
Is something wrong?
Ah, it's nothing. Don't mind me. Nursling happened to Cersei. Better read the note. Can I see it without her noticing? Let's take a look. Hardy Barnum. Ran into yep, I knew it. 2 suspicious people looking for Miss Somikawa. I drove them off for now, but be careful. Seems like something happened on Cersei's end. And I better stay alert just in case. But I don't think I'll mention this to Miss Somikawa. It'd only shake her up. She looks so solemn. Wonder what's going through her mind. Not going to lie, I'm a little concerned that she still hasn't told me the conditions of our trade. Well, she asked me to trade her the curse stone. I'm starting to think she might attack me here. I don't know. So, will you tell me what you want to trade for the Tamate Bako now?
You've got the Forsaken Fish Curse Stone with you, right?
Sure do. Have a good look. The Forsaken Fish Curse Stone.
Looks like the real deal, all right.
You want to trade the stone for the Tamate Bako, right? I figured as much. Well, I'm fine with those terms. Let's do it.
No, that ain't it.
Oh? That ain't it? Uh-oh. I'm gonna trade your life for the Tamate Bako or some shit.
You know, I once had a sister. Her name was Mare Somikawa.
Oh my god, you're not her at all! Were you twins? Because you look very similar. Well, again, I guess, they're sisters, so they'd be... Oh my god, what the fuck? What a twist, not actually the mom! You say had a sister. Does that mean...
Yes, she's gone. Died in an accident at sea about 5 years ago.
I see. My condolences. So there actually was another descendant.
You folks seem to be pinning your hopes on me just because I'm one of the descendants. But the one who actually inherited our duty wasn't me. It was my sister.
Your duty?
That's right. The duty of the Taishima bloodline. It's been passed down in our family for generations. Even more, our generation would be the one to handle the 400th year since the disaster. My grandpa always said that was particularly important.
So there was a duty Taishima's descendants were meant to perform after 400 years.
But I was young back then. I still had dreams of my own. And wanted no part in some annoying duty, so I ran away from home to the first chance I got. I pushed all that responsibility onto my sister, but I know I should have helped her.
I see. So that's why your sister was the one who inherited that duty. It's duty, you mentioned. Was it to break what remains of the curse of the raging waves?
Suppose they were connected, but... lifting the curse would have been a step along the road, but it wasn't the goal.
Oh, really? Then what was it?
Well... it was to return the mermaid that was left behind in Issei Bay to Ryugu. That was the real duty of the Taishima bloodline.
Return the mermaid that was left behind in Issei Bay to Ryugu? What the fuck? Return a mermaid? So it's true! There really was a mermaid stuck in Issei Bay because she couldn't return to Ryugu.
That's right. Her name was Sobai.
Oh, she's come up in our research. So she was real after all.
You see, my sister that took on the family duty seems like she actually met Sobai herself.
She got to meet the mermaid?
After leaving my hometown and making a living as an armor diver, I'd all but forgotten about the duty I'd left behind. I had no idea what her duty actually entailed. When I finally learned the truth, I was crushed by regret.
Regret? Why?
You know, ever since I was a little girl, I'd always been fascinated by mermaids.
Understandable.
I read The Little Mermaid so many times, pages of the book had started to wear away. I would see them in my dreams over and over. Back when I wanted nothing more than to become a mermaid. It's what led me to become an armor diver in the first place. But the true nature of the family duty is only revealed to the one who inherits it.
I see. What bitter irony. But couldn't you meet the mermaid after you learned the truth?
My sister took pity on me and attempted to call her to meet me once in secret. My sister Mari even shared some of the things the mermaid had told her. But you know, Sobai was a pure, cautious mermaid who never truly opened her heart to anyone but my sister. Me, on the other hand, she avoided. I was never even allowed as much as a glimpse.
Quite the bitter outcome.
Mari and the mermaid had grown close as friends. They trusted each other. They were inseparable. But she never once showed herself to anyone other than my sister. Not even to a close relative like myself.
There's music. So she hid herself away for 400 years. Was such caution really necessary? Your sister must have been an incredible person to earn the mermaid's trust. Though I can only imagine how hard it must have been to be rejected by an existence you so deeply admired and longed to meet.
Mari moved to Kamishima to be closer to Ryugu, all for the mermaid's sake. Then one day, she got married and changed her name to Mari Minakuchi. She seemed so happy.
So she got married on Kamishima.
I was so jealous, couldn't think straight, and ended up lashing out pretty badly.
Doesn't seem like she's gonna kill me. She's opening up a lot here.
In an attempt to destroy my sister's relationship with the mermaid, I grabbed her family heirloom and ran off.
The infamous Tamade Bako, yes?
Yeah, the mermaid was supposed to take it back to Ryugu, so our family had carefully kept it for centuries. And so, the years went by. Then 5 years ago, I heard that Mari had died in an accident. That's why I came back to Toba. I thought that maybe this meant the duty would be passed on to me.
Of course.
But by then, our parents and all our relatives had already passed away. There was no one left who knew about our duty. There was nothing I could do. I didn't know a thing. Not where the mermaid was, nor how to call her. I'd given up. But while I was digging around, that man NicoB found out I was a descendant of Taishima. You see, I was struggling to get by. I sold the information my sister had told me about the mermaid.
Damn, really?
Back then, I was making a living by giving folks a glimpse of the Tamade Bako for a ridiculous price.
And that brings us to the present, I suppose. In other words, since your sister died in that accident, your family's duty was never fulfilled. And now you want us to go find the mermaid for you.
That ain't it.
Dang!
I guess it must have been about 3 months ago. I was wandering the coast alone when the mermaid Sobai appeared before me.
Oh! You finally got to meet her!
She told me this. The seal on Ryugu's gateway has been lifted, so I will be returning. Your sister has done a great deal for me. I now ask you to return the Tamade Bako.
Wait, what? The seal was lifted. Is that perhaps why the curse of the raging waves became active again? So what about the Tamade Bako? Did you return it to the mermaid?
I was so overcome with emotion and excitement, and I told her. I've hidden the relic. If you want it back, take me to Ryugu.
You said what?
Not being able to fulfill my duty had been weighing heavy on my heart. But in that moment, The pain was gone. On top of that, I figured the mermaid had come to fetch me. Being able to visit the land of the mermaids, there'd be no greater happiness than that. But Sobai simply told me it wasn't possible and that she'd forfeit the relic. And with that, she was gone.
Oh. So the mermaid has already returned to Ryugu then?
Ever since then, all I felt is despair and regret. Completely empty inside. There's nothing left.
Wow. That might have been more of a test, in fact, right? And she sort of failed it by saying, no, take me with you, right?
My family's duty's been fulfilled. That's what I meant when I said it was all over.
But then the Tamare Bako still exists, doesn't it?
Sure it does, but... even with such a fancy name, in the end it's just a grimy old box. I opened it once. I was hoping there'd be some elixir of eternal youth inside or something, but it was completely empty.
I see. Even so, I'd still like to trade for it.
Are you sure? I don't see why, but whatever. It's not like anything matters anymore. I'm just sick and tired of it all.
Ah. Oh. Is the trade that she wants to be? Oh, fuck, that's exactly what she wants. The trade is that she's gonna want us to use the curse stone on her so that she can turn it, quote unquote, turn into a mermaid, right? That's what it is. She's going to ask me to do it.
In the end, I never did figure out what that Tamare Bako really was. The mermaid forfeited just like that, so maybe it never had any meaning to begin with.
So, what do you want in return?
I want to do whatever it takes to become a mermaid.
I knew it. Miss Somakawa, don't tell me. You want me to use the curse stone?
Simply return to the sea. That's my only wish.
No, listen. There is nothing even remotely beautiful about the curse of the Forsaken Fish. All it will do is turn you into some twisted half-fish monster. Nothing but a grotesque imitation of a mermaid.
I know. That's fine with me. This curse is the essence of that mermaid's power. I'm ready to offer up my life to her.
But...
whatever you do, I'll just be drowning myself anyway. So you won't be dirtying your hands. All you have to do is use the curse. My wish will be granted, and you'll be doing me a kindness. That's all there is to it.
wow. So Avi does end up doing it, I guess. I mean, we've already seen it. Though I might get a choice here, and... Just hold on a minute, okay? This is just...
The Tamare Bako is in beneath the floorboards of my house. Please, do this for me.
Mr. Somakawa, wait! Ah, she's already gone. She'll come back up if I just wait long enough. Fuck it. Ah! Fulfilling my destiny here. I see. So she was going to drown herself anyway. She's like, hey, I'm going to die regardless. So, wow. Fine, I'll fulfill what you asked. Whoa, holy shit. Oh no, okay, we're getting the full detail actually. That's right. We didn't really have much on her. Taishima Descendant, a woman living in Toba, although she occasionally does work as an Alma diver. It's unclear who she is and where she's from. Apparently she showed up 5 years ago with nothing but a grubby wooden box. As Maria Minakuchi's younger sister, as Azusa is also a descendant of the sole survivor of Taishima. So Azusa is actually her first. I don't think we got that clarification. Following the destruction of Taishima, the Somakawa line hid themselves away. living for generations in a small village within the city of Shima. The book, The Little Mermaid, was a constant fixture in the household, a decision made so that the children of the family would grow up with a familiarity with mermaids. And Azusa read it repeatedly as she grew up, the tale fueling a fervent admiration for mermaids within her. Upon realizing that she could never be a mermaid herself, she instead decided to become an alma diver, thinking that would at least allow her to swim freely through the sea like the beings she so admired. Thus resolved, she left her hometown behind, leaving the family duty, nothing more than a troublesome burden to Azusa, to be handled by her elder sister alone. For all intents and purposes, it appeared that Azusa's wish had been granted. However, upon returning home following her parents' deaths, she was taken aback to learn that the family duty inherited by Mari was in itself deeply connected to mermaids. Forgetting how she had pushed the duty onto Mari to follow her in her own desires, Azusa grew deeply resentful of her sister, accusing her of keeping the mermaid to herself and asserting her right to take up the family duty. But it was too late. Mari and the mermaid had already forged an unbreakable bond that no amount of words or deeds could undo. Following Mari's death, she was finally able to meet the being that had enchanted her for so long. However, her desperate plea for the mermaid to take her back to Ryugu with her was met with staunch refusal, and the mermaid left shortly after, never to return. With her opportunity to fulfill the family duty gone and her chance to connecting with mermaids lost, Azusa sank into despondency, spending her days in an empty haze. Amidst this despair, the curse of the forsaken fish appeared before her seemed to be a final chance to have her wish granted. Driven by regret over what she perceived as a life of wrong choices and consumed by her obsession, she threw herself into Issei Bay and surrendered herself to the curse, ultimately dying due to its effects. Her form, writhing in the agony brought on by her sudden transformation, bore no resemblance to the mermaid she had once admired as a child. Yet it is said that the expression on her face, when her body was discovered a day later in Futami Gara, seemed somehow content. Sobai, one of the three mermaids who was said to have lived near Taishima about 400 years ago, she has since returned home to Ryugu. Sorry, Avi, to do that to you. After that, we managed to quietly retrieve the Samati Bako from beneath the floor in Miss Samakawa's house. All that was left to secure the dream of immortality was to obtain mermaid flesh. Since Sobai had already returned to Ryugu, we placed our hopes on the last remaining mermaid, Nagame. But we had to act fast. Otherwise, Ikoma, or even those Paranormal Affairs Bureau psychics would get in our way. I'm still not really buying his desire to do this. It feels like we're definitely missing some context. This is his desire is simply I'm just sort of interested in it because I'm a fancy guy, but so there's a lot more to it than that. This does seem like a lot of effort for just a passing curiosity, right? It might have been the after effects of using the curse, but I got sick the next day and had to spend a full day bedridden at the inn. How pathetic. That's when I heard news that 2 female divers had gone missing near Toba. The fact that I had been involved in both the incidents made me feel even worse. When Cersei heard the news, she just mumbled something with an unreadable expression on her face. I had no choice. There was simply no other way. Or at least that's what I kept telling myself as I struggled to get out of bed. The next day, August 7th, we set out to gather more information on Nagima and the other mermaids. We traveled to Kamishima, the island where Mare Samakawa, or rather Mare Minakuchi, used to live. Yeah, that was indeed that didn't seem like that was gonna go any other way. And that is going to line up right with, actually, no, we still haven't gotten that yet. That's technically here. This seems to be actually happening technically, it seems like a bit later than our actual meeting over here, right? Granted, maybe this timeline doesn't necessarily match up with what happens on this side, you know? In fact, you know what it might end up being? This meeting here might end up doesn't match with this one, where essentially he doesn't meet with the creature, but instead might match up with this one, wherever the hell that goes. That's kind of what I'm thinking, actually. Yeah. It's amazing that this is technically the first thing I got after just the beginning of the game, and I still haven't done it yet. I mean, I guess technically this too. The one where we don't do anything. We don't actually get taken down the hole. But I definitely feel like I'm taking a pretty unique route here, having done like everything around this. This is cool, man, though. Now this shit's picking up. That shit, like, we had a massive exposition dump and then shit picked the fuck up. The funny thing is, I actually don't think we are gonna get any more massive exposition dumps because I literally can see in here. Oh. Wait, I guess something new? Invasion of Taishima? This huge thing. Oh, here we go. Fate of the Mermaids. After Harukage sealed the entrance to Ryugu, the two remaining mermaids, Nagamaya and Sobe, are left unable to return home. Nagame, free spirit by nature, yearned to explore the seas beyond Ryugu, seized the opportunity to travel the world, a journey that would span the next 400 years. Enamored by the idea of a fairy tale romance, she was said to have been enthused at the thought of finding her own tale of eternal love as she left. However, the more serious Sobai was deeply affected by Ayase's sacrifice, mourning her loss and filled with longing to return home to Ryugu. She spent her days hidden in the depths of Issei Bay, weeping bitterly. The fate of the surviving islander. Somikawa, the sole survivor of the Taishima and Islanders, saw Sobai's tears and vowed to protect her, promising to do all he could to ensure her return to Ryugu one day. The treasure the mermaids entrusted to him, the Tamate Bako, had been passed down through the generations of Somikawa families, proof of the oath being honored by his descendants 400 years later. But you can actually see in here, right? Like, there's 1, holy shit, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. There's actually not that many like new entries left. Like, we got a fucking shit ton of them. I think this is the bottom. Like, I mean, I guess it could be like there's a 54 and beyond, because I can only actually like see like up to a certain point. Technically, like there could be more beyond it, but the fact that this one's the Mockingbirds, I think this is probably the end. So there's actually not that many new entries. So I think we're just gonna, I sort of feel like the way this game is structured versus how the other one was, I think this game is mad front loaded with like exposition and story and tales. And then after you've gotten past that, like where I think we are now we're getting just like, then it's just mad backloaded with a fuck ton of plot, right? Like, I shit you not, I feel like I got maybe like more than a quarter of the entries in last episode. Like, about all those tales and mermaids and shit. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking at least, but this shit is great. Oh my God, wow. So that's not what happened there. I really was like, dude, does Ivy just kill this lady? I guess he sort of does, but she was gonna die regardless anyway. It's funny though, I will say, unlike Paranormasight, I still have yet, and at this point I think it's happened at least a couple of times, I haven't gotten to a point where the storyteller has like brought me out and asked me a series of questions, right? Or I've hit essentially a roadblock, right? Where like, oh, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to like go back and turn down the volume of my game or something. You know, I haven't got any like super meta shit yet. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure it's probably gonna be here, but this game really is quite different from the first Paranormasight, which, you know what, I respect. I'm glad they're not just trying to do the exact same thing they did before, you know? But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoy this episode. If you did, please leave a like and a favorite, and subscribe if you're not already. Become a picky penguin over the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.